What is going on, everyone? We are back with another episode from our Raiders franchise in Madden 16, and this one is going to be a little bit different than any other episode we've ever done. It's going to be a simulation of the remainder of season number 5, and we're not going to waste any time getting into it. We're going to simulate through. I'm not going to show you every game, but I am going to show you the key ones. We start off week 3 with a 42-14 win over the Colts, so it looks like the Raiders have no issue even when we simulate, as Chase Moss, an okay game, 208 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. EJ Manuel, a rough one. He is going to have 134 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 picks. Darren Ellis, 18 for 84. Blake for the Colts, 18 for 78 and a touchdown. Latavius Murray, 14 carries and 3 touchdowns. I do like when you simulate, the distribution of the carries goes a little bit better. And then receiving, Ellis had a touchdown. Receiving, Devin Funchess, 2 catches for 64 yards. So not a lot going in terms of the pass game today. Ellis with the touchdown, as I said. Trey Stevens, I still don't know how to say his last name. He's going to pick up a touchdown as well. And then on defense, we are going to have some tackles for loss for Khalil Mack. Actually, the only Raider with a tackle for loss, but we will manage a few sacks as Clinton Dix, Smith Williams, and Pearson half sacks, and Mario Edwards Jr. with a full. And then the interceptions, Bruce Irvin, David Amerson, and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. So we move on now. After that win, we do have some bad news. TJ Lang, broken ankle, 16 weeks. And I'm not actually going to put him on IR because he could be back, but I'm going to move Walden to right guard and Jackson over to left tackle to make up for that. So the offensive line's still good. Week number 4, we are going to win another one, 33-18 over the Patriots this week, as it's going to be 3 turnovers for the Patriots in that game. And it's Chase Moss, much better here, 264, 2 touchdowns. No interceptions. Parker throws a pick to go along with 193 yards. Darren Ellis, 23 for 100. Latavius Murray, 11 for 62. Lamar Miller and Denard Robinson, 7 carries and picks up a touchdown in that game. Receiving, it is going to be Amari Cooper, 6 for 85 and a TD. Brandon Cooks, 5 for 53 and a touchdown. Cooper's going to lead everybody. Funchess is going to get 76 yards on 3 receptions, so he's playing pretty well as a new member of the Raiders. And then on defense, it is going to be 2 tackles for loss for Aldon Smith and Calais Campbell. Darman picks one up. The sacks are going to go 1.5 to Calais Campbell, 1 to Mack, and half to Devin McCourty. And then the picks are going to go to Eric Darman and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, 2 games in a row with an interception. We move ahead here now. Week 6, we are 4-1. Still have not lost so far in simulation, and this is a close win. And here's why: 42-40 win, but we had 5 turnovers in this game. That is way too many. And as we look at the numbers, yeah, Chase Moss, rough game, 324, 5 touchdowns, but 4 picks. Matt Stafford, 307, 3 TDs, and 2 interceptions. As that a very close game. CJ Anderson, 19 for 104. Darren Ellis, 16 for 72. Murray, 9 for 42 and a TD. For the receivers, some big numbers. It's going to be Brandon Cooks, 8 for 147 and 2 touchdowns. Barksdale, 7 for 115 and a touchdown. Thomas, 102 and a TD, 9 catches as well. Jackson, 42 and a TD. We're going to have Amari Cooper, 6 for 33, but he does grab a TD. Latavius Murray gets one as well. Clinton Dix leads everyone with 13 tackles. 1 tackle for loss is all we had, Hardy, and then half sacks for Darman and Irvin. And then the picks, there's a lot of those. 3 for Chris Harris Jr., 1 for Bruce Irvin, and 1 for Darman and Washington. At this point, we're at the midway point of the season, our bye week in week 9, and this is what the standings look like. The Browns lead their division 4-3-1. The AFC South is the Texans and Jaguars 5-2 and 5-3. AFC East is a little rough. The Jets are at top of that one at 3-4-1. Patriots 2-5. We lead the West 7-1. The Chiefs are 4-3. The Bears lead the North at 4-2-1, Vikings 4-4, then the Packers and Lions 2-6. The Saints and Falcons are tied atop the NFC South at 5-2. The Cowboys 7-0, but the Redskins right behind them at 6-1, and then the Giants and Eagles are both 3-4, and then the NFC West, it's a 6-1, Seahawks 5-2 Rams, and then the 49ers and Cardinals bringing up the rear. So on now to Week 10. We have a game against the Chargers. We still have not lost in simulation, and it won't end here. 31-27 is going to be your score, as it looks like a pretty just okay. The Chargers actually outgained us on every facet of the offense, but we still managed to hold on to win a lot of close games in these simulations. I kind of figured out as we were going through. Chase Moss, 271 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Same thing for Rivers, but he's going to have 331 yards passing. Sankey, 19 for 69. Ellis, 17 for 63. Bobby Rainey, 7 for 23 and a touchdown. Chase Moss, 11 for 14. And Murray, only 2 carries for 9 yards. Keenan Allen, 9 for 151. Lucas Jackson, our tight end, 7 for 121 and 2 touchdowns. Amari Cooper, 4 for 98. And Kevin White, 6 for 78. Jalen Strong, 73 yards. On defense, Tyrann Mathieu, 11 tackles. Butler with 10. It's going to be 3 tackles for loss for Greg Hardy. Leggett with 2. So a lot of tackles for loss for the Chargers, but we get all the sacks. Smith, Edwards, Jordan, Hardy, all with sacks. And then the picks go to Tucker and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie picking up another interception. So on to now week 13. We are 10-1 in the season, still have not lost in simulation, and it still will not end. 44-23. We are all over the Chiefs. We get 5 turnovers. That's got to be the story of the game there. We also outgain them on offense, but 5 turnovers, that's not going to help. Chase Moss, 312 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. Taylor, 288, 2 touchdowns, but 4 interceptions. And then the running game, Darren Ellis, 21 for 89 and a TD. Jamal Charles, 9 for just 47 yards. Blue, 13 for 45. Latavius Murray, 19 and a touchdown. The receivers, it is going to be Martavis Bryant, 10 for 187. Wow. Lucas Jackson, another good game, 4 for 114 and a TD. Brandon Cook, 6 for 98. Funchess is going to grab 47 yards. And Cooper, 3 for 36 and another touchdown. Onto the defense, it's going to be Darman leading everyone with 13. Clinton Dix with 11. Eric Berry with 10 tackles for loss. It is going to be 2 for Mario Edwards Jr. and then 1 for Darman. The sacks, just 1. That's going to go to Khalil Mack. And then the interceptions, quite a few of these. It is going to be 1 for Darman, 1 for Bostic, 1 for Boykin, Matthew, and then Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie with another. Where is this guy at in our games we play? He never got interceptions. But week 14, we are 11-1. We have a 4-game lead on the Chiefs, so we can clinch the division here. But it's finally the first loss in simulation, and it comes from the Jaguars, 34-13. An awful game. We turned the ball over 4 times. Bryce Petty, 237 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But Chase Moss, 205, 1 TD, 4 picks for him. That is a rough game. Had to have cost us the game, as that is one of his worst performances all season. Alfred Morris, 27 for 109 and 2 touchdowns. Darren Ellis, 21 for 85. Kadeem Carey, 9 for 32. Murray, 6 for 26. Emmanuel Sanders, 7 for 119 and a touchdown. Amari Cooper, 5 for 73. And Jordan Matthews, 258. Jackson, 5 for 56. On defense, Darman leads everyone with 14 tackles. It's going to be 3 tackles lost for Easton Scott. Alden Smith and Khalil Mack grab 1. It's going to be 2 sacks, though, for Khalil Mack, and he is the only guy to pick up a sack in the game. And then the interceptions are going to go to Ishmael Smith, Cole, and Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie again. It's also going to be Josh Norman, but Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, man, this guy coming alive. We did lose, but we still clinched the division. So we are the only team in the AFC to clinch. Actually, in all of the league, the only ones to clinch. There's only a couple of games left, so it's very close here for these last couple of weeks. On to week 16, it's going to be a game against the Chargers. With the win here, we could possibly clinch a first-round bye. And I think we might have. We win 35-30, a close game. We turn the ball over a lot. Again, 5 turnovers for us, but we still managed to win. So that's the only thing that really matters. And we completely dominated the Chargers in this game. Otherwise, beside those turnovers, as it's going to be 159 yards passing for Phillip Rivers, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Chase Moss, 2 TDs, 5 picks for him, as he really ran his interception total up the last few weeks of the season. Latavius Murray, 18 for 71 and 2 touchdowns. Amari Cooper, 6 for 82 and a touchdown. Cooks gets 87 and a TD. On defense, it's Jordan leading the team with 10 tackles, and it's going to be a couple guys with tackles for loss, sacks for Smith and Hardy, and then 3 picks for Tucker, 1 for Stanford, 1 for Clinton Dix, and 1 for Jefferson. So now here we are, final game of the season. We are 13-2, taking on the 8-7 Broncos, and we end the season with a win. So we only lose 1 game in simulation. We take this one 28-21. 3 turnovers again in this game. It's going to be 3 picks for Chase Moss. 334 yards. Does get 3 touchdowns. Matthew Stafford, 155, a TD, and 2 picks. Looks like he got hurt in the game as well. C.J. Anderson, 18 for 93. Darren Ellis, 16 for 81. Murray, 12 for 61 and a touchdown. Receiving, it's going to be Amari Cooper, 6 for 104, 2 touchdowns. Nice end for him. Trey Steffens, 6 for 85 and a TD. We haven't really called his name too much this season. And then on defense, it is going to be a sack coming from 1.5 from Ben Blake, 1 from Darman, Edwards, Florence, and half from Max. So we got to the Broncos quarterbacks a lot. Matthew gets a pick. Rashad Jones, Clinton Dix, Desmond Trufant, Brandon Boykin, and Chris Harris Jr. So Harris picks up 4 picks this season just off of Moss. So you can see the scores of the games. We did skip over a few, but there were a lot of close games. There was very few that we really had blowouts. The Titans and Chiefs there, you can see those 2 are some blowout wins. We had a blowout loss to the Jaguars. but then pretty close, 14 for the Chiefs, excuse me, and then 5 and 7 for the last 2 games. But we end the season 14-2. We clinch a first-round bye. Jaguars grab their division. Texans grab a wild card. Steelers win. Browns get a wild card, and then it's going to be the Colts and the Chiefs that miss out on the playoffs. We'll move on. Actually, missing one, the Jets. Way down there, 7-8-1. They win their division. NFC, it's the Cowboys 14-2 as well. They clinch home field advantage. Seahawks win the division. Falcons win. Buccaneers and Rams get the wild card. And then again, way down here, 7-8-1. The Bears take the NFC North. So the Giants, Eagles, Panthers all missing out. So wild card weekend, it's Browns at Steelers, Rams at Falcons, Texans at Jets, and Buccaneers at Bears. So those will be your matchups. But I did say I was going to play through the playoffs, but Madden 17 just released a day ago, and the pace at which I'm looking to start the Madden 17 franchise, I want to try and get into it as soon as possible. So with how this situation is kind of working out, I am going to just simulate the playoffs. So the next episode is going to be the final episode of this series. I will be the first to admit the end of Madden 16 is not going exactly how I imagined it would. Maybe a slight poor scheduling on my part, not really paying attention to how the seasons were going to end, and I thought I could probably get through more than I was actually able to. So we will have one last hurrah with the Raiders. We will simulate through the playoffs. We'll take a look at the full season stats for this year. We'll take a look at some of the career stats for some of our players, and then we will wrap this Raiders series up, and then we will move on to Madden 17. I think I have a good idea. We did a stream yesterday to kind of go through some of the options for the teams to use in our franchise for Madden 17. I think I have a good idea of who we're going to use, and I'm hoping to get the first episode out this week. And actually, when you're watching this, I'm hoping to get the first episode out tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. The Madden 17 franchise is very, very close. So that is going to be it for this one. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead and give it a like. I'd really appreciate it. And subscribe to see any feature videos that I make. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time.